Mass violence. What's really breaking and why we keep treating the symptoms instead of the cause. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's just me again, one guy with a microphone trying to talk about something we all feel but nobody wants to name off properly. Not just the mass shootings, but mass violence in general. Because it's not only bullets, it's fists, knives, cars, threats, fear, intimidation, and the slow erosion of safety everywhere people gather. It's schools, it's grocery stores, it's concerts, malls, workplaces, family gatherings, it's neighborhoods that don't feel like neighborhoods anymore. And at this point, it feels like violence isn't the only anomaly, it's a background hum. That's not normal, that's not healthy, and it didn't happen like this overnight. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Mass violence doesn't start with a weapon. It starts with a breakdown in people, in families, in communities, in accountability. We keep arguing about tools, laws, and headlines, but the violence keeps changing forms because the root problem is still there. When you remove one method, the behavior doesn't disappear, it adapts. And this is how you know the issue is deeper than just the surface. People who feel connected don't terrorize communities. People who feel seen don't try to dominate others through fear. People who feel supported don't implode outward. Mass violence grows where anger is ignored, where pain is mocked, and where people are humiliated instead of helped. And where nobody steps in early enough to say, hey, this isn't okay. And yes, we have to talk about schools, because that's where a lot of this starts, even if it doesn't end there. Bullying is not a minor issue. It's not kids being kids. It's not a rite of passage. It's not harmless. Bullying is training. It teaches one kid that power comes from hurting others, and it teaches another kid that they don't matter. Neither lesson ends well. You want to understand mass violence later in life? Look at the repeated cycle of humiliation early in life. Look at the unchecked aggression. Look at the kids who learn that cruelty has no consequences and silence has no protection. And here's where I'm going to say something that might make people uncomfortable, which usually means it's worth saying. If a kid is bullying another kid and it keeps happening, the parents or guardians should be sitting in detention with them. Yes, in the chair, during the time together. Not a phone call, not an email, not a we'll look into it. Sit, watch, and listen. Because maybe, just maybe, when a parent has to miss work and sit under fluorescent lights and feel the embarrassment of being there, they'll finally decide to parent instead of deflect. Maybe they'll have a conversation that should have happened months ago. Knock it off, this ends now. Accountability works best when it's shared. And let's be clear, this isn't about punishment for punishment's sake. It's about interruption. It's about stopping harmful behavior early, before it grows teeth. Because the kid who learns they can dominate others with no consequences doesn't just magically become the healthy adult. They carry out that behavior into workplaces, relationships, public spaces, and sometimes into moments that can explode into violence. And the kid who's bullied relentlessly doesn't just get over it. They carry that pain too, sometimes inward and sometimes outward. Both paths are dangerous if nobody steps in. Now, widen the lens. Mass violence isn't just schools. It's workplace rage, it's domestic situations that escalate, it's public confrontations that turn physical, it's someone snapping at the grocery store, it's road rage turning deadly, it's someone deciding the world owes them something and they're going to collect through fear. Different settings, same emotional engine. People who feel powerless trying to reclaim power the worst way possible. And yes, weapons are part of the equation, but they're not the equation. You can regulate one tool, and violence will still find another outlet if the underlying behavior is not addressed. This is not an opinion, this is history. The hard truth is, you cannot legislate your way out of a cultural and emotional breakdown. You have to rebuild it. That means real mental health access, not pamphlets and hotlines that nobody answers. It means early intervention when people start showing signs. It means teaching emotional regulation like it matters, because reality is, it really does matter. It means not ignoring aggressive behavior because it's inconvenient to deal with. It means supporting families but also holding them accountable when harm is happening under their roof. It means giving people purpose, belonging, structure, and connection before anger becomes their identity. And yes, it means consequences. Real ones, predictable ones, and fair ones. Because compassion without boundaries is chaos, and boundaries without compassion are cruelty. We need both. And here's the builder part of this. If you wait until a structure collapses, you're not preventing anything, you're just cleaning up the debris. Prevention happens when you see cracks early and reinforce them. Mass violence is a structural failure, not a random accident. We don't need louder arguments, we don't need more blame, we don't need another cycle of outrage followed by forgetting. We need adults who act like adults. Schools empowered to intervene, parents engaged instead of defensive, communities willing to say this behavior stops here. Because when people feel safe, they don't seek control through fear. When people feel connected, they don't isolate themselves into resentment. When people feel accountable, they behave better every time. Hope isn't gone, but safety doesn't rebuild itself. It gets rebuilt the same way everything else does. Early, intentionally, and with people willing to step in before it's too late. If you've seen violence brewing in schools, at work, in your neighborhood, or if you've got ideas that prioritize prevention over reaction, send them my way. This is a space for real conversations and real solutions. Hope is not gone. We just have to stop pretending that this is normal.